Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this afternoon's meeting. We'd like to begin and ask everyone to please bow your head for a moment of silent reflection. Amen. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Minges.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Our next agenda meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 31st at 2 o'clock.
July 31st at 2 o'clock. Okay.
On our utilities agenda, item number 1, docket number 2008-140A, Palmetto State Utility Services is seeking an extension of time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belser.
I move that we grant Palmetto State Utility Services Incorporated's request for a 30-day extension of time to file its 2018 annual report. I move that that be made nunc-pro-tunc, as I believe they've already filed. Thank you. That's my motion.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Belser's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 2, docket number 2019-119C, we have an application from Blue Casa Telephone.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move that we approve Blue Casa Telephone LLC's application for a certificate to provide resold on facilities-based local exchange and interexchange services to be regulated in accordance with the procedures authorized by for New South Communications and order number 98-165 and docket number 97-467C, and for the interexchange service offerings to be regulated in accordance with procedures established for alternative regulation and orders number 95-1734 and 96-55 and docket number 95-661C. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 3, docket number 2019-222C, we have an application from Sandhill Telephone Cooperative for alternative regulation.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I would move we approve the application of Sandhill Telephone Corporation for alternative regulation plan pursuant to South Carolina Code Annotated 589576. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 4, docket number 2018-364WS, a petition for rehearing or reconsideration has been filed.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
on June 12, 2019, by Commission Order number 2019-424, the Commission dismissed the complaint of the Nollers and the Hogs against the Fusky Island Utility Company. On June 21st, the complainants timely filed a petition for reconsideration and/or rehearing. The company did not file a response to this petition. However, the complainants in their petition seek reconsideration or rehearing on 3 grounds. First, the complainants state that the Commission does have jurisdiction over the matter because DIUC has failed to provide adequate and proper water and sewer services to the complainants. However, as the record reflects, DIUC began providing water and sewer service to the homeowners in December of 2018. So this issue has long since been rendered moot. Number 2, the complainants state that the Commission has jurisdiction to hear this matter in order to remedy failure of the company to submit the customer service agreement for approval pursuant to South Carolina Code Regulation 103-541 and 103-743 before it was entered into with the homeowners. And while it's true that this commission has broad authority over approval of contracts entered into by regulated entities, even if the commission were to find such actions were violative of properly promulgated regulations, that would still not grant the commission an ability it does not possess. In other words, we cannot grant monetary damages under an allegedly invalid contract. And in this petition, the complainants are seeking monetary damages, and that would be for a court of competent jurisdiction, not a proper matter for the South Carolina Public Service Commission. Number three, the complainants believe the commission has the ability to provide monetary damages. In fact, they cite a code section in South Carolina 58-5-270 and section 58-5-710. Now, those provisions allow us to have jurisdictional authority to hear complaints properly brought before the commission. However, in this case, monetary damages are being sought, and as I stated earlier, the commission simply does not have the authority to grant monetary damages. That would be a matter for the Court of Common Pleas. The commission does have the authority under this section to levy a fine or penalty against a regulated utility if the utility is failing to show cause as to why it is not taking steps to provide adequate water and sewer service. As I mentioned earlier, service has been and is continuing to be rendered to the complainants. And even if that weren't the case, any fines or penalties levied by the commission would go directly to the general fund of the state of South Carolina, not to the complainants. So in short, the commission cannot award monetary damages, and under the facts of this case, does not have jurisdiction to hear those claims. For these reasons, I move that the complainant's petition for rehearing and or reconsideration be denied in its entirety. So moved.
Thank you. You heard Commissioner Irvin's motion. Are there questions or comments? Commissioner Belzer.
Mr. Chairman, I just need to note for the record that I have a conflict on this matter due to my previous employment, and therefore I have previously recused myself from this docket and will not be voting on this matter today.
We'll have the record show that Commissioner Belzer is recused from this vote. Any other questions, comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Items number 5 and 6 are petitions to intervene filed by Nucor Steel, South Carolina, and following dockets. Item number 5, docket number 2019-176E, and item number 6, docket number 2019-186E.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I move we grant the petitions to intervene filed on behalf of Nucor Steel, South Carolina. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 7, docket number 2019-171E. We have a joint petition for the assignment and reassignment of territory, along with a request for limitation of corridor rights.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to the Territorial Assignment Act, South Carolina Code annotated 58-27-610 to 690, Aiken Electric Cooperative Incorporated, Little River Electric Cooperative Incorporated, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, and Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated are jointly petitioning for assignment and reassignment of certain territory in McCormick, Abbeville, and Greenwood counties. Joint petitioners also seek approval of agreements to eliminate corridor rights in the specified areas and assert that no customers will be affected by the petition. Joint petitioners maintain that this assignment, reassignment, and elimination of corridor rights will allow the utilities to avoid wasteful duplication of electric distribution lines and appurtenant facilities and to better operate their systems safely. I would note the Office of Regulatory Staff recommends approval. Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the realignment due to increasing efficiencies for the utilities customers. The parties are instructed to provide a proposed order. So move.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 8, docket number 2019-204E. The complainant is requesting expedited relief.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, the complainant in this matter has requested that the Commission grant emergency injunctive relief against Duke Energy Carolinas. Today, we address only her request for emergency injunctive relief. This Commission has not been authorized by statute to grant injunctive relief. If injunctive relief is available to her under the facts of her case, it must be granted by a court with the jurisdiction to order such relief. One such court, Mr. Chairman, is the Court of Common Pleas of Lancaster County. And therefore, because this commission is not authorized to order injunctive relief, the complainant's request for such relief is denied.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries.
Item number 9, docket number 2017-292WS. The Office of Regulatory Staff is requesting to discontinue filings of monthly reports pursuant to or required by Commission Order number 2018-677.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Howard.
Mr. Chairman, order number 2018-677 requested the Office of Regulatory Staff submit a monthly report regarding the status of the sewer problems in the 40 Love Point subdivision. On May the 31st, 2019, ORS filed a monthly report stating that construction on a long-term solution to the problem was completed and requested the discontinue the reporting requirements. On June 26, 2019, the Commission issued order number 2019-476 requesting comments from subdivision attorneys or other interested persons by July the 8th on the status of the correction of the sewer problems. No comments were filed in response to the Commissioner's inquiry. Since the ORS states that the construction on a long-term solution to the problem was completed and there had been no objection to that representation after the opportunity to be heard, I move that ORS be relieved of its responsibilities of having to provide monthly reports as to the construction work to resolve sewer problems in the 40 Love Point subdivision is complete. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? Mr. Belzer.
Mr. Chairman, again, this is a matter that I worked on within my previous employment. I have previously recused myself from this docket and need to be reflected on the vote sheet that I am recused and not participating in this or voting on this matter.
Thank you. The record will show that you are recused. Any other questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 10, docket numbers 2019-176E, 2019-184E, 2019-185E, and 2019-186E. This matter concerns the joint petition of Johnson Development Associates and the Solar Business Alliance to set a consolidated schedule.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
after hearing the oral arguments from all the counsel for the parties this morning concerning these matters, I recommend that the Commission find and conclude that judicial economy would not be served in consolidating the three primary dockets. I move that we adopt the schedules proposed by Dominion, Duke Energy Progress, and Duke Energy Carolinas, and instruct our staff to set the pre-file testimony deadlines and hearing dates as suggested by the companies in their prior submissions. It's important to recognize that we need some flexibility to accommodate the schedule should extraordinary circumstances arise due to the complexity of the subject matter. And so I further move that we allow the scheduling matters to be handled and altered by staff with the permission and under the direction of the Commission Chairman Randall. These procedural schedules would best effectuate the statutory requirements of Act 62 and will afford all parties the maximum opportunity to litigate their positions on these matters before the Commission in a utility-specific basis. As referenced in the arguments this morning, the parties, of course, may use any allowable ex parte proceedings or other allowable mechanisms compliant with the Commission rules and regulations for informal conferences or technical assistance. The Commission would certainly consider that request, and we would also encourage the parties through their attorneys to work toward trying to reach a resolution of as many issues as possible in the spirit of cooperation and to come to some reasonable agreement or settlement where such settlement is reasonable and possible and prudent. The Commission, of course, has a robust pre-hearing conference process that is available for these parties for the facilitation of potential agreements as well as for other purposes. And therefore, we encourage the parties to work together, to propose jointly a time to hold pre-hearing conferences in each of these three dockets. I further move that we appoint David Stark as a hearing officer for these three avoided cost dockets. Mr. Chairman, as we adopt these procedural schedules, I believe it would be appropriate to administratively close docket number 2019-176E since it will no longer be needed. The other dockets, in my view, should be left open and proceed for each single company. And finally, I move that we set an intervention deadline in these three dockets for Monday, August the 12th, 2019. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments?
Yes, sir. We had considered an earlier date, but just out of an abundance of caution, we thought we'd extend that date until August the 12th to give the interveners time to file their petitions.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Chairman, item number 11, docket number 1999-323C. We have a request for a name change along with a request for waiver of publication.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, Birch Communications LLC seeks to amend its certificate to read Fusion Cloud Services LLC effective July 23rd, 2019, along with a request of waiver of publication. Company states that a notice of change in company name will be provided to South Carolina customers via a bill message. It further maintains this change in corporate name will have no effect on the services offered to the company's South Carolina customers. I move that we grant the request of Birch Communications LLC to change the name on its certificate. Additionally, since customers are being notified individually of the name change, I also move that we grant the company request for waiver of publication requirements. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 12, non-docketed item number 2019-4A. This matter concerns guidance for the workshop regarding bill roundup programs.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
DEC and DEP have requested the Commission considering issuing topical guidance or questions that the participating entities should be prepared to address in written comments or at the workshop. I move we provide the following topics and questions to the entities designed to participate. Number one, these programs are voluntary. And then should participants opt in or opt out? It'd be administered by a third party. And who determines that third party? Distribution of funds should they just be allowed to assist customers in paying utility bills, or should other uses be considered? What criteria should be used in determining recipients and the length of support? What, if any, reporting requirements to the PSC or ORS? How would the programs interact with other assistance programs? And what are the interests and ideas of the individual entities participating in the workshop or roundup program? If interested in initiating a roundup program, how would you implement such a program? Mr. Chairman, that's my motion. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Commissioner Belzer.
As I understand the motion, these are suggestions in response to an inquiry from Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress. But
Make sure you got your mic on, Commissioner Howard.
But these topics are not limiting. I mean, other entities could address. I mean, it's open for any discussion regarding.
Yeah, I said.
Is it not? I just don't want the.
Say, what are the interests and ideas of the individual entities participating in workshop around a program? What other ideas or suggestions they have?
That's fine. I just don't want any entity to think they're limited.
No, they're not limited by any stretch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Turning to our transportation agenda, items number 1 through 5 are new applications that can be taken together. Item number 1, docket number 2019-246Ts, is the application of Limousine LLC. Item 2, docket 2019-247T, 3J's Transportation LLC. Item 3, docket 2019-245T, Style MB LLC, DBA Ride and Style. Item 4, docket 2019-248T, Tri-Carolina Mobility LLC. And item number 5, docket 2019-249T, Rajneesh Malik is his application.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton, sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the applications and items 1 through 5 as identified by Mr. Menges. So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 6, docket 2007-92T and 2019-91T. We have a request for reinstatement.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the request of Victor Kluchenia, doing business as Imperial Cab, for reinstatement of Class C taxi certificate number 7797-A, subject to compliance with all of the Commission's rules and regulations. So moved.
Okay, you've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? Anybody need him to read the name again? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes today's agenda.
Okay, I think we need to go back to Commissioner Urban
Thank you.
for one of his motions.
Yes, sir. On item number 10 on the docket, concerning the earlier directive that was unanimously adopted, I noted that we wanted to appoint a hearing officer for the 3 avoided cost dockets. It's been called to my attention that there's some scheduling issues with our staff, and therefore the hearing officer will be named at a later date by appropriate directive once that's been resolved. If you just strike that last sentence, or the sentence about the hearing officer, this just to be amended.
Why don't you just make a motion
Yeah,
to
I move that we
strike that?
strike that sentence, and
We'll appoint it later.
we'll appoint it later. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. And Mr. Minges, you said that's it. Is there anything else to come before us? If not,